Heyo everybody, Haku here finally with the next read-through video for Magical Girl Raising Project or Mahou Shoujo Ikusei Keikaku. We are at episodes 5 and we're on the fourth one. We're doing Rainbow Friendship, again going in the order that is on the wiki. Because I think that's probably the order they would be in the books, because they're just in alphabetical order here on the drive. So yeah, Rainbow Friendship, we're on the fourth one out of 11. I'm excited to read because it seems like it's been a while since I've had time to do one of these. And sorry, these should be back like weekly from now on, hopefully. And I know this one's a little bit late. But I think I'm gonna start doing them on Wednesdays. Now, they were previously on Tuesdays most of the time, but now I think they're gonna be on Wednesdays most of the time, because I'm moving some other videos to like Sunday and Monday, and since I'm doing more stuff on Sunday and Monday, usually I would like record these on Mondays and then post them on Tuesdays, so now I might need to record them on Tuesdays and post them on Wednesdays. So yeah, either way, going a little bit late this week, but just wanted to let you all know. This one I'm excited for. It's Rainbow Friendship, and from the title and from the pictures up here, we can see that it's about Rain Pou and Postery. So even though Rain Pou was a bad guy, of course, and Postery was someone who wasn't necessarily bad herself, but just gave a bad person a pass and helped them out because of loyalty, because of, okay, we've been friends this long, and I don't get why now all of a sudden you're doing all this evil assassin stuff. So she just said, I don't know what this is all about, but I'm gonna roll with my friend. And it turned out horribly for both of them, but either way, let's get into reading this time. This story takes place a few months before Magical Girl Raising Project Limited. Alright? She couldn't avoid the high kick. If only she could put out her rainbows, this wouldn't be a problem. Unfortunately, she had to block every hit with her hands, and she's not good at that kind of combat. She blocked the incoming kick with her arms, but the strength of the other girl sent her flying, her back hitting a chain-link fence and bursting through it. She bursted and rolled off in the concrete, creating small craters where she landed. Blood was leaking across her face. If she could use her rainbows, she could have broken her fall, but nothing's coming out, no matter what she tried. There was no light either. Everything was dark. A large slab of concrete was thrown at her, and she immediately punched through it instinctively, but the force still knocked her back. There was darkness, and she could only see small silhouettes of her opponent. This was going to be hard, but Rain Pou understood what the other magical girl can do. Light control. The other magical girl can control sources of light and make them disappear completely. Unfortunately, since Rain Pou's rainbows are made of light, that meant that Rain Pou couldn't use her rainbows at all. Taking away her rainbows is like taking away her weapons and her armor. More large pieces of gravel were being thrown towards her, but this time Rain Pou dodged them. Even though she couldn't see them, she could still hear them. Multiple chunks were being thrown, and she dodged them left and right. She used her hearing to predict where the magical girl would be, tracing the sources of the throws, like a string in the darkness. She ran towards it, maybe, or ran forwards. I think they meant she ran towards it as in like the sounds. She ran towards it, moving as fast as she can, faster than she usually ran, avoiding any chunks of concrete thrown at her, using that to track down the magical girl. Toko always told her, the power of magical girls lies in their imagination, so Rain Pou imagined her target. She imagined where she would be, and when she reached her location, she used her momentum as leverage and launched a kick straight to the center of the supposed target. Crack. She felt her feet burst through the flesh, and the sound of spine cracking. The darkness evaporated, and light in the dark street slowly returned once more. The magical girl opponent, a woman clad in black, looked down at the large wound in her chest. Rain Pou had missed her intended target. She just wanted to stun her, but it looked like she killed her. She went limp, eyes wide, and detransformed. She became a human again, dead on the street. A school uniform. This was a middle school girl. Rain Pou looked at the body. She closed her eyes and shook her head. Shit. This wasn't in her job description. She was supposed to be stealing information, not killing anyone. That magical girl was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Rain Pou, you're alive. I saw the whole fight from one of the apartments. The voice was heard from afar. The voice was from the sky, quite small actually, if you didn't have the hearing of magical girls. That's because the voice came from a small creature, a miniature girl, a fairy. Her name was Toko, and she was Rain Pou's mascot. You saw the fight? You saw the fight. How'd you see the fight? Didn't you remove all light? Asked Rain Pou. Oh, I just used this new function in magical phones to detect magical potential in a short-range area, like a radar, said Toko. Ah, alright. Well, anyway, that girl's magic seemed to immediately counter mine. Was it an accident or was it planned? Asked Rain Pou. What do you mean? When I went in here as a magical girl, I met her immediately, and she went on the wrong terms. Considering her power set, I don't know if someone hired her or not. Was this a setup? And I met her and immediately we went on the wrong terms, not she. I messed up there. I could have a word with our boss. I'll ask later on. When Rain Pou first entered the world of magical girls, she didn't really think much of them. She thought they were just children's fantasies at first. Now, however, she was a part of this world's society, and of all the parts where she was, it wasn't the glamorous lives up above, but the seedy underbelly below. There are plenty of villainous magical girls, bribery, whistleblowers, backstabbing, and various other things that magical girls do behind the scenes. Rain Pou was often hired to kill these people. But Rain Pou doesn't place herself on a higher pedestal, nor does she have any delusions about who she is. She knows she's not just a substitute for justice. She knows she's not a vigilante. She knows she's just as bad as the people she's being hired to kill. Rain Pou is a rogue who kills other rogues. Usually she was hired by higher-ups in the land of magic who want to get their hands dirty without being publicly outed. Rain Pou's jobs were also not publicly outed. These kinds of people exist in any society, even one as fantastical as the land of magic. One day, Toko came to her with the job offer. I've got something, but before that, we might want to have some insurance, said Toko. Insurance? What do you mean? We make a group of magical girls to help us. We shouldn't tell them the reason, of course, but it's a good way to bolster our ranks. Also, if we get caught, they'll be useful meat shields too, said Toko. You expect me to find a group of girls willing to help. Let me handle the magical potential and people. You just do the friendship thingy, said Toko. Seems unnecessarily bothersome, said Rain Pou. Rain Pou laid down in her bed. She rested a bit, but she enjoyed a life of thrills and fun. She didn't want to go back to whatever she had before. Before middle school, Rain Pou had to live with an abusive older sister who always had to act like she was okay. She wasn't allowed to be her own person, and always had any sense of free will crushed. And yeah, I kind of remember some of this. Rain Pou, honestly, is a bad guy, but I don't want to say she's a bad guy with reasons either. Like, Rain Pou's a bad person, but it's not like she's really the mastermind behind anything. Really, she was always like a bad guy, but with worse bad guys, like Toko, who Toko is totally entertaining and funny. I just remember from Limited really thinking Toko was really entertaining. But with worse bad guys like Toko or Puken behind her. But either way, sorry, continuing on. So when she became a magical girl, she immediately ran off to do her own thing. She was grateful and happy to be rid of that bitch. However, the life she had to live now was also an acting game. If the land of magic ever caught wind of any of her real actions, she would immediately lose her status as a magical girl, go back to being an ordinary human, and probably have to see her sister again. Rain Pou didn't want any of that. So, Rain Pou followed Toko's advice and philosophy. Toko taught her how to have fun and become her own person. She slowly led her to the life where she is now. When she first killed someone, she puked and felt sick for days. However, as she killed more, she became desensitized. She learned how to detach herself from any potential targets. When she was on the job, her feelings for someone will be a weakness. That's why she never had any delusions that she was a hero. It was easier to know the reality. She was a rogue magical girl, and she was killing other magical girls in her job. It made it easier to handle if you're not emotionally attached. But now Toko's asking her to make friends so that she can use them as backup and a potential failsafe. That meant slowing down. That meant opening up herself. That meant showing attachment to someone else. She looked at Toko. So, what do you want me to do? Well, I've detected only a small few that have some magical potential in the school. Some are mediocre, some are ridiculously low, some come in pairs, some are loners. One of the teachers also has potential, and it's easy to leverage her if her students are also magical girls. Your job is to be friends with those loners. Huh? I can easily handle the ones that come in pairs. Don't worry. It's the loners that'll be hard to catch. I've got a list of them here. Your mission, pick one and get close to her. And that kind of makes sense because, of course, Toko could figure it out that, say, Captain Grace and Funny Trick, if one of them was like, oh, you have to be a magical girl, the other one would be like, well, I need to be a magical girl too, or magical girl too, in order to support the other. So as long as, like, each of them are saying, oh, I need to be a magical girl to support her, while the other one is saying I need to be a magical girl to support her, then they're both going to want to be one. Same with the teacher being drawn in because of the students. Of course, that is exactly what happened with kuru-kuru Hime, and with the loners. So this is kind of showing that her friendship with Posteree, I don't want to say her friendship with Posteree is all based on lies, because it could start out that way here, where she befriends her just to use her as a failsafe, but along the way she actually does get attached. But either way, okay, be friends with the loners. Huh? I can easily handle the ones that come in pairs. Don't worry, it's the loners that'll be hard to catch. I've got a list of them here. Your mission, pick one and get close to her, said Toko. How the hell am I supposed to do that? You figure it out. I already did the legwork of actually finding these girls and rounding it down for you. Toko had taught Rain Pou many things. How to fight, how to survive, how to live freely, not how to make friends. I just can't make friends. It's not that easy, said Rain Pou. Talk to them then. I don't have anyone close to me, that's the point. You taught me that, said Rain Pou. You have me. You hardly count, Toko. Well, there's a first time for everything, right? Rain Pou sighed, and looked at the list of girls that Toko made, all names. Tatsuko Sasaki. What grade is she in? She's your classmate, said Toko. What? You're shitting me. Apparently, she wasn't shitting her. Tatsuko Sasaki was indeed a classmate of Kaori Ninotsuki, aka Rain Pou. Kaori may not be good at making friends, but she knew how to analyze social situations. Most of the girls here have had friends with other girls, but Tatsuko was always alone in her chair. She never talked to anyone at all. It feels like such a wave of... It hasn't even been that long, I suppose, but such a wave of nostalgia reading back about these characters. Tatsuko was always alone in her chair. She never talked to anyone at all. Perhaps she was a bit like Kaori in a sense. Maybe she was hiding something from the world, or maybe she was just shy. Her expressions don't really show much, and it didn't give any hint of what she was like. She was an enigma. She always did push everyone away from her. During break time, Kaori watched Tatsuko's actions closely, being careful not to be spotted herself. Tatsuko always went to lunch alone, went to the toilet alone, went to the library to read books alone. Nobody noticed her, and nobody really even cared. Was this girl really that lonely? Not even Kaori noticed her at first, and not until Toko had told her about Tatsuko. Perhaps this girl really did need someone. Toko approached Rain Pou back at her room. Well, how was she? Bad. I don't think she's useful, even if she has potential. Nobody noticed her, and I don't think she's capable of fighting if things get rough, said Rain Pou. Well, shit. Guess you gotta find someone else then, said Toko. I told you I'm not good at making friends. You're just not trying hard enough. Either you get close to her or find someone else. Either way, I'm taking what you have. A little help would be nice, said Rain Pou. Can't help you. Too busy dealing with other girls in the school. Fucking fairy. Hey, I'm not lying. Look at this. I already narrowed down our targets in only a few days. You, on the other hand, only needed to find one. If anything, you're the lazy one, said Toko. She threw a piece of paper toward Rain Pou, and Rain Pou looked at the names on the list. Umi Shihabara. That's a very rowdy girl. She had high physicals that could be useful in a fight. Kaio Nemura, always sticking around with with Umi. She was level-headed and calm, good for controlling Umi as well as possibly planning things out. Nozomi Himeno, the obligated teacher. At first, Rain Pou thought she was a student when she met her in the entrance ceremony, due to her baby face, but apparently not. A magical girl who's a teacher. That's interesting. And Mine Musubiya, a class rep who's good at dealing out tasks and stuff. Probably the leader type, being a class rep and everything. And on Kaori's end, Tatsuko Sasaki. It's strange that Kaori never noticed Tatsuko, when Kaori put emphasis on making sure school life goes great. See, I'm actually doing work, so either stop what you're doing and find someone more useful to be a magical girl, or you befriend that Tatsuko girl. The more magical girls we have, the better, said Toko. How did she get under her radar before? Was she truly just a lonely girl, like Kaori was, hiding something before? Magical girl or not, Kaori actually wanted to get close to her. Tatsuko didn't show any openings, though. There has to be a way of talking with her. There has to be a way to get close. Kaori observed Tatsuko at lunch. Kaori could try to speak up with her, but whenever she did, Kaori herself would get nervous. Kaori's friendships never started by herself. People always came up to her, and she accepted them in her circle. Keeps the school masquerade open, and it's also easy to do. So now, Kaori being the active one, that's harder. It seems that Tatsuko likes omelets for lunch. She ate them every day. When she ate, she seemed to enjoy the food, although she didn't smile to show it. She really does hide her feelings. Maybe if Kaori made omelets, she'll be closer with her. At home, Kaori started cooking. She only learned a bit from home economics, but she's also browsed several cooking sites and tried to understand the recipe from there. This is her first time cooking an omelet, too. This is harder than she thought. When she thought she finished, she tasted it and it burned her mouth. Well, the omelet plan won't work. Let's try another plan. It was the rainy season, and what better way to get close to someone than to walk with them sharing an umbrella? She had to make sure the situation was perfect. She checked the weather forecasts every day and made sure to be prepared when it was heavily raining. Finally, on a rainy day, Tatsuko came to school with an umbrella. Now, to make sure it still rained after school, Kaori had an umbrella of her own, and during class time everyone placed their umbrellas in umbrella stands. Kaori excused herself, saying that she felt a bit sick. Outside, she transformed into Rain Pou, took Tatsuko's umbrella and hid it somewhere. Then she de-transformed and slept in the nurse's office for most of the day, all according to plan. When it was time to go home, Tatsuko was nervously looking for her umbrella. The plan was simple: offer an umbrella to Tatsuko and bond with her. That was easy, right? When Tatsuko had given up, Kaori approached her. "Hey, have you lost your umbrella? Want to go home together?" "I've got mine," said Kaori. Tatsuko widened her eyes, and she immediately shook her head, smiling too. No thanks, I'm good," she said. Kaori was stunned. Tatsuko simply walked outside and walked home in the cold rain. She'd rather be wet and cold than make friends. What kind of life did Tatsuko have to be like this? Kaori actually felt bad for this plan now. At first she thought Tatsuko was just weak and timid, but no one's that weak and timid, no one that's weak and timid would walk in the rain willingly. Tatsuko's stronger than she thought. I actually really like this. I'm coming to like how, again, Rain Pou, the reasoning originally is to get someone to be this fail-safe, but at the same time she's doing all this, going out of her way, because she's actually really interested in Tatsuko or Posteri and who she is. So she's actually interested in her as a person, and she's going really out of her way to try to make friends with her, even if the original reasoning wasn't that good. And it makes me so much more interested in Posteri as well, you know? But I really like it, and even the school setting and stuff is just reminding me so much of Blue Reflection, and what a good game that was. But either way, moving along. Oh, and if you don't know, I've talked about it before on the channel, but Blue Reflection is this magical girl RPG that I played like in 2017, and it was so good. But either way. Gym class, dodgeball. Tatsuko disliked dodgeball. Kaori didn't mind it. However, Kaori noticed Tatsuko's expression just standing from the crowd. Maybe this time Kaori can do it. Maybe this time Kaori can actually be friends with her. The gym teacher placed Kaori and Tatsuko on the same team. Ah, yes, Kaori had a plan. Kaori found dodgeball to be fairly easy, thanks to her lifetime experience of combat training. So her plan was simple. If Tatsuko was about to be thrown a dodgeball, Kaori would immediately take the hit and save her. That would be great. She'd go, "Oh, Kaori-chan, you saved me." What she thought and the reality of the situation, however, were completely different. Apparently nobody even targeted Tatsuko, even if she was standing completely still. Was she that unnoticeable? Of course she barely fought back, but she wasn't even thought of as an easy target. At least give the girl a fair shot. But Kaori can't give up. She fought back against the enemy team, dodging and throwing the balls as well as possible. She made sure not to allow her teammates access to the ball, and one by one her teammates were eliminated. If it's only Kaori and Tatsuko, then Tatsuko will have to be targeted. Then, as it whittled down to the two of them, Kaori was finally ready. She dodged every ball, threw it back every time, and waited for the one moment where Tatsuko would be targeted. The enemy team was dwindling. Why was everyone aiming for Kaori? She hasn't let a dodgeball through yet. Why isn't anyone aiming for... Huh? Kaori looked behind her and saw no one. Tatsuko was in the outfield. Why was she in the outfield? She wasn't hit with anything yet. Suddenly, a wave of dodgeballs came crashing toward Kaori. The coach rang the whistle. Kaori had asked the coach as to why Tatsuko was in the outfield when she wasn't technically out. "She went there herself," said the coach. "What? That's against the rules. Tatsuko's not the sports type. Even I know this. You were doing 90% of the team's work, so Tatsuko felt like she wasn't necessary. Since she's not physically fit, I decided it's fine." So, Kaori's plan backfired. But what kind of life was Tatsuko living, to be ignored by almost everyone and considered useless? That's not fair for anyone. And now, we're seeing human Rain Pou looking over and seeing human Posteree. This is interesting. This has got to be like the least detailed, the least detailed illustration we've seen, though. Usually the illustrations are like really, really good and detailed, and this one's just like, yeah, here's something. Not saying it's bad, obviously, but it just kind of sticks out from the others to me. One day in class, Kaori saw Tatsuko reading a manga. A manga? It was a shonen manga. It was some kind of mech manga as well. Kaori instantly went back home and found the manga online. Maybe this is her chance of talking to her. Maybe now Kaori can befriend Tatsuko. She found out the name of the manga, she found out the next release date of the next volume. She found out the characters, and of course she read the manga herself. If there was one way to befriend Tatsuko, this would be it. It didn't even matter what the original reason was anymore. Tatsuko's life was unfair. It's not right to be shunned by everyone like that. It's not right for everyone to just ignore your state, no matter who you are. Kaori's going to be close to her. Kaori's going to befriend her for sure. Besides, Toko said it was for insurance. That doesn't mean it'll come true, right? Tatsuko deserved a happy life, and Kaori was going to try and give her that happiness. Toko lied down on the bed. Unlike magical girls, fairies actually need sleep. Days had gone by since the first time Toko had suggested that list. Soon, they'd have to do the job. Peace and quiet. Or so Toko thought. Slam. The door opened. Toko's eyes awoke, and she was grumpy. There, on the door, was Rain Pou, crying and crying. Fuck, why do people just ignore like that? Just ignore like that. She doesn't even try to socialize if I bring her close to others too. I try to talk to her, but she won't let me in. God, she's playing with my mind right now, Toko. Hey, Toko, are you listening to me? What the hell are you crying about? Asked Toko. Tatsuko. I thought you said she wasn't fit. You shouldn't be making unnecessary friendships, Rain Pou. Well, I guess I changed my mind. You're sure? I guess. Well, I could always just give her the old fairy speech anyways. She'll come around, said Toko. No, don't do that. She doesn't need that. She needs a real friend. She just needs someone she can talk to. What the hell happened to you? Can you teach me how to make omelets? Please. What? It's her favorite food. I want to give it to her. Please, Toko. If this is part of some convoluted plan, no, I really think I can get close to her this way. Please. I want to be her friend. Toko sighed. Fairies can't make omelets, but fine, as long as I can get some sleep afterward. I love this, actually. This has completely turned me around on Rain Pou as a character. Before, it was like she was bad, but I don't know, she was bad, but there were other characters worse than her behind her. But now she's a character that I actually do sympathize, with as someone who did bad things, but I'm not really sure she was bad anymore. Because when it comes down to it, sure, she did the whole assassin thing, but when you think about that too, it's not that her abuse or Toko's influence completely just wipes out all guilt that she has, but at the same time, I'm not exactly sure she would have been a bad person if it wasn't for Toko making the decisions and her just following along with them. And of course the abuse from her older sister probably played a role in that as well. But this didn't really give us much of anything with Postery except a little bit more backstory for her, but not really much more into her personality in general that we didn't already see in Limited. But I really feel like this fleshes out Rain Pou so much more, which is why I really like these episodes, because we get the stuff that gives us new aspects of characters we've already seen, or gives us development that we didn't get to have in the main story that adds a lot to it. This, I don't think necessarily adds to Limited. It makes you appreciate and like the character more, even though it's not like having this in Limited would have particularly made Limited any better or worse. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, these are hopefully going to be back weekly as soon as possible. And not only that, but they should probably be on Wednesdays from now on. So yeah, hopefully I'll be seeing you with the next one next Wednesday. But either way, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my thoughts and reactions and all that. Subscribe for more. Magical Girl Raising Project, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel or talk to you there. If you'd like a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us on Discord, then just ask and I can give you a link. We can all talk there. And if you want to help support the channel and keep it going, keep these videos coming as well as all the other stuff, then it would help to support on Patreon. It's patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description. But either way, thank you for just being a part of the community. And yeah, thank you again, and I'll see you all next time.